50 summoners, hundreds of group stage matches, 45 single elimination matches. 2 champions arose from those tournaments, all pointing to this moment. 14 summoners fight for the right to be called the VBC's one above all. Welcome to Vega's Battleworld. Hey, welcome back to the channel. We have got a day for you if you enjoy Battlegrounds tournaments in the VBC. In particular, the playoffs have started. I'm showing you this first screen so you have an idea of what's in store for you today. We're starting off with Bittersteel and MU8S. I'll explain that right after this. We will then, after this match is over, immediately switch you over to Mclz1nkz versus Happy McMuffins. That is the Conquerors bracket. They each won their group 2-0. Looked pretty dominant doing it, to be honest with you. And then they're going to face off today. You can see that they are in that kind of the number 2, where that number 2 is. This is a double elimination tournament. It was requested by some of the top competitors, and it made a lot of sense to me. And I think it's going to be a really fun thing. Now, the winner of that will obviously advance and gets to face Legacy. Legacy and Finn will finally be able to compete in this tournament. I know they've been waiting for it. So what does that mean? Well, the loser of that match will become the defeated of 2 and will play the winner of Bittersteel versus MU8S. Bittersteel and MU8S both won their matchups in the last 2 days. It secured second place in their groups, meaning they've lost once. They've earned the right to lose twice or continue to advance. So the winner of this matchup will play the loser of the one we have coming up for you. And we're just getting started. So sit down, buckle in, get relaxed. Whatever it is you do when you enjoy these tournaments, do that. And we are going to be getting started very, very soon. You can see Bittersteel has started his, and we are just waiting for MU8S to start their stream. We'll bring this to you. I believe we'll have some co-hosts jumping in and out today. I will adjust the aspect ratio as normal. And I appreciate so many of you being here in the chat already. Cedric, K-Dog, Faith Through Fire, Laser, El Viejo. Yeah, you know how it is. Trying to finish up a few work things and quickly get to this. I'm taking an extended lunch break today. Going to do a little work into the evening to make up for it, but it is worth it for the VBC. Wonder Pants, what's going on? Oh, no one better shave that beard of mine. No one better even come close. But Kyle, thank you so much. I said it a lot, and I'll continue to say it. This is completely inspired by, meaning I saw it, and I did my best to make it my own. Mclz1nkz, whose link is in the channel. They'll be competing in the afternoon matchup today, the second matchup today against Happy. Please make sure you support all of the competitors. The links are in the description for all of their channels. Hussein, what's going on? Simula, happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday. Sweeta, making his intentions known. He's got a favorite. He's letting us know. I love it. I love it. Jay Will, what's going on, buddy? Ghost Dog. Ghost Dog. Very unique setup, my friend. Oh, no. Oh, no. It is completely inspired by Mclz1nkz. It is completely inspired by Mclz1nkz. And I'm giving him credit. Domino is still banned. That's right. We are visiting Bar Sinister for this. Also Simula for his birthday. Some would say. Some might think. We are deleting Domino. We are deleting Domino. Matthew Ray coming in from New Zealand. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. And looks like they're both getting started. Looks like they're both getting ready to roll. We will be closing the poll here in just a few seconds. I see Bittersteel has a substantial lead, and I can understand it. He has looked excellent in this. Now, he did come up with a loss in the group stage play, but like I said, has earned the right to continue playing. And MU8S is fresh off. I wasn't able to cover. There's been 2 matches I have not been able to cover in this tournament. I was not able to cover last night's, and pretty epic matchup there against MP Blaze. Make sure you check out both of their channels to see it. It's phenomenal. I wish I had been able to cover. I just couldn't. Nick136, one of the all-time great VBC players. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to get started. I'm going to close the poll. Bittersteel coming in at 81%. That is a substantial amount. A substantial amount. Let's see how that turns out for everybody. Like I said, I will adjust the aspect ratios as we continue to move through this. I believe we are completely live on both of their streams. Yep, we are. So they're getting their invites sorted. The only rule for this one, you know, of course, the default rules for the VBC, but the only extra rule as far as bans and those sorts of things are considered is that they are not allowed to have Domino. We are visiting Bar Sinister. We've deleted Domino. OG Highline. OG Highland is still enjoying the performance from Mcg, who we will see potentially tonight. I have received word from both him and Karate Mike letting me know they may be going this evening. I'm waiting for confirmation before I put that out there, though. I'm going to wait for confirmation. And then tomorrow, we have the other side of the championship match with Andrew the Rough going up against none other than Tom Jarvis, TJ Tom Jarvis. Just a reminder that we are using the victory track nodes for this. We may switch that up as we head further into the tournament, but this is masochism over time. Picture of health, which is the defender's immune to regen rate modification, and dauntless, meaning the attacker starts with their spirit gauge at 50%. 50%. So this is the meta for the victory track. We're seeing bans here of Rintra, Teddy, and Viv Vision. Interesting. I think that's interesting. I understand. I understand a lot of that, and I could see why wanting to get rid of Viv. I even get rid of her myself sometimes. A lot has due to not knowing how to fight her so well, though. Sunspot, a Tomb on the other side, and then Iceman. Wanting to get rid of that instant damage that Iceman will start a lot of fights off with, so I can understand that as well too. Atuma is relatively new and a very difficult defender. It's got the damage back mechanic, which has been buffed. I'm very happy with where he's at. I think Kabam is too, to the best of my knowledge. And he's been causing a problem for people. I have him in my deck, and he's definitely won me a lot of fights just by being a good defender. Andrew the Ref, what's going on? Going tomorrow, as we were just saying. So nice timing, Andrew. Versus Tom Jarvis. Faith Through Fire. Imagine me watching all of these. Misty K, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I noticed this the other day. I was like streaming something. I started seeing all these hearts going through the chat. I was like, what is that all about? And then I realized the chat now has reactions. So I've been enjoying doing those on other people's streams. Better made you fall in love with Cersei. He has that knack about him to show us how good champions can be. Make sure you keep an eye out. So for those who caught my Cassie Lang video today, make sure you keep an eye on Bitter's channel, because I know he is eventually going to show her versus Quicksilver. It's really cool. For those of us who hate fighting Quicksilver, that's definitely one you're going to want to practice and get down, because Cassie destroys him. Let's just put it that way. Had an opportunity to pick Jessica Jones, a phenomenal defender, decided not to do it. For those who aren't familiar, what we're doing is the Bittersteel is on the left side of the screen, MU8S is on the right. And like I said, I'll adjust that too, so we can get a little bit more of their gameplay, a little bit less of the top chat and all of that. So for the first few games, I might be doing that a little quiet on my side of things. All right, Sasquatch is coming in, and Wolverine Weapon X, both fantastic defenders. They do have counters in the game, but you got to play them well too, especially that Wolverine Weapon X. Make sure you time his unstoppable and then are comfortable with his unblockable and rage mechanics. Bitter's going to go with Valkyrie. I didn't see an Omega Sentinel or an Archangel or Nimrod. And then we're going to see Spot here. Oh, I'm sorry. I had the matchups backwards, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Watch both of these. These are both going to be phenomenal play. I know exactly how they're going to go about this. MU8 is a phenomenal Valkyrie player, so make sure you keep an eye on both of these screens while I adjust them for you. Here we go. I'm now able to pay attention. It looks like a mistake was made, probably again with Wolverine Weapon X going unstoppable and or unblockable. And now it's just going to come down to if Bitter can finish this fight off in time. He does have Sassy and Wrath of Tanarak. Looks like he's going for it, so his damage will go full. That was the relevance of the Wrath of Tanarak, and I believe he'll come up with a win on that. Yeah, so probably just a mistake was made by MU8S with Valkyrie. Like I said, I was adjusting, so I wasn't able to see it. But there we go. So we're on the board. Bitter takes the first game. Always nice to get off to a first start. As you know, though, I don't tend to get too worried about any of the competitors until we get to the third set. I think right now they're still kind of warming up, feeling each other out, seeing how it's going to go. Hussein, thank you for being here. Tom Jarvis, hola, my friend. Hola, mi amigo. KT1 also letting his attention and intentions and his cheering motivations be known, going with Team Bitter. So far, we have of the big famous YouTubers of MCoC, we have Sweeta and KT1 both going with Bitter. Let's see how that turns out. The poll was also heavily in Bitter's favor, 81% of the vote. Bitter's got his backers. And we're going to get to see this right here. Now, MU8S is going to be trying to use Cersei against Bittersteel. A little bit of turnabout is fair play. And then we're seeing Valkyrie on the other side. So Valkyrie's already making her presence known in this first set. Really nice play from both of them. MU8's handling Fury well, making sure he sends him to 2 bars of power, doesn't have to deal with an unblockable SP1. I find myself watching the Cersei gameplay here a little bit more. And Valkyrie doing Valkyrie things up there, taking care of Quicksilver. So that is over. Nice play by MU8S up there. It's just taking a little bit longer. Valkyrie is a menace. She absolutely is. Who's more versatile? Actually, let's put that poll up in the chat. We'll put that up right now. We're getting that up there. Bittersteel takes the first set. Let me know your thoughts on this, because about 2 weeks ago, I would have definitely said Valkyrie. And right now, I don't know. I do not know. I would potentially even vote Kate. I do have a rank 4 Kate. She's been incredibly helpful to me, and the variety of defenders and nodes she is working for has not shocked me, but surprised me. So I don't know. I'd like to get the community's feedback on that one. Excuse me, just for a second. I have a message I do need to answer, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. We're going to leave that poll up for a little bit because I am very interested in seeing how that plays out. We're getting a little bit of the spinning wheel from both the competitors. I will get them back to live. That happens from time to time. They are pretty much synced up, so we don't have too much to worry about there. Fintex here. Valkyrie is one of the best champions in the game currently. There's a reason someone called her the new Quake. Finn, I hear you. I'm curious how much experience you have with Kate. If you don't mind answering, let me know. If you're like, dude, I played them both, that's my answer. That's fine. Just let me know. But I am curious about the contrast because I would have definitely said Valkyrie, like I said, up until about 2 weeks ago. OG Highline saying hello to Andrew. Hot Buzz, thank you so much for being here, bud. FinTech has the R5 Kate. Okay, well then he probably plays her a little bit. Thank you, Vast. And the chat always makes me laugh. I love how we've already devolved into Ghost has been the new Quake. What if Quake was the new Quake? What if that? What if she was one of the 7-star options when Science came? That would blow everyone's mind. And then Quake would be the new Quake. All right, we got a chance here to see future Ant-Man and or Spot. Let's see which one MU8S goes with. Just does decide to go ahead and go with Spot as we enter this. Like I said, I don't get too concerned about the matchup or either opponent or competitor until we get to match 3. As I usually say, that being said, of course, you don't want to be down 2-0 if you can avoid it, but it's that third set that's really the big one. I think they're still filling each other out here, maybe even reviewing their bans and how those sorts of things are working out. They both use Valkyrie. MU8S made that mistake there, though, against the Weapon X. That obviously hurt him. And then Bittersteel did not make that mistake and finished off to win the first set 2-0. FinTech saying he has both Kate and Valkyrie at R5. Tough to get any experience when she's banned every game. I believe that's similar to your Tiger experience, my friend. All right, here we go. I would just have to believe that Archangel would or should win this, but a mistake can happen, as we've already seen. And it will take him a second to get ramped up. Remember, we are playing, I believe it's Masochism there, so it could take a minute here. Bitter does a nice job of holding block, taking some of those blocked hits, allowing him to get those poisons up, and then immediately turns him into a neurotoxin. So now that that's up, now that those first few neuros are up, we should just see Mojo melt. However, on the other side of the screen, while I'm not paying attention, Crossbones is doing work, doing some absolute work. Bitter did lose some health with Archangel, so if this goes quickly enough on the right side of the screen, there is a chance that Crossbones upsets Archangel here. I think he needs to bait this SP2. Oh, he doesn't go for the bait. He went for the actual stand-up intercept. Fury plays ball. I don't think this is going to be quick enough, though. Just by the slimmest of margins. Slightly over 300 points. Slightly over 300 points. That impresses me with the Crossbones, considering he's going up against an Archangel. Really nice play, but Bitter does come across with the win. Mclz1nkz, what's going on, my friend? Thanks for tuning in before your big matchup here with Happy in about 40 minutes. Appreciate you being here. Aaron from Ohio, thank you so much. You have both Kate and Valkyrie at rank 4. Get to use them. I hope you voted in the poll. Would be interested in hearing your thoughts. Oh, yeah, actually, just a couple more. Valk is more purely versatile, but Kate is going to be faster in many cases in the hands of the same player. Of course, Finn could Valk so much faster than others can Kate. That's what I was thinking, too. FinTech may be able to use Valkyrie superior to what I could do with Kate. Yeah, Finn's one of those people, though. He could take my roster and beat me with it, And this is one of the ideal counters to Korg here with Storm Pyramid X. I'm not familiar with Hood versus Bishop. I don't know if this is kind of a strategic play of Bitter to set up a better matchup in the third game, or if this is truly one that can work out well. Hood does seem very versatile. I've lost quite a few matches to rank 4 and rank 5 Hoods. Some of them surprised me with what he was able to accomplish. So let's see. Yo. The chat is already cheering for Mclz1nkz. I love to see it. And let's see if we get this nice big crit from Storm X. Actually, he's not going for it. I guess he's going for an SP3 here.
Got to get the rock stacks down first.
Hey, what's up, bud?
How's it going?
Yeah, that was interesting though, because he had an opening with the rock stacks down. It looks like he being MU8S was intentionally wanting to go to the SP3.
Yeah, maybe he. I mean, the thing is that Korg has crit resistance, and so that slows down the special 2 quite a bit. And then if you use the special 3, you get your alternate Tempest, and so you're much more likely to then have the follow-up special kill. So that's probably the goal here.
This one's going to end up being really close. Bitter got pretty close there to getting Spot down, but Spot's been holding on at about 20% health. Bitter did lose a little bit of health, so any time difference, I think, is going to be significantly mitigated by the larger health remaining of Storm X and going to come away with that win. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, and I think if like even one hit on the special 2 crits with Storm, then you end up winning it. But I think otherwise, even 2 special 2s with no crits might end up losing. So I think the special 3 into the special 1 with the cold snap to kind of help finish things off. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to say it in hindsight, but it makes sense. I can try BT. I just got it here. Oh, the alliance-based? Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thought.
DLL, I did share my screen in case you're able to pull it up. I don't know, you might be on mobile or something like that, but
okay, very cool.
Thank you so much for being here, by the way.
Yeah. That does just show me Bittersteel's side, so I'll keep it up. But
it's only showing Bitter side?
Yeah. That's all right. I have more real estate here. Yeah, fast. I think that would be just a wee bit much. And I think you know that.
We were just talking about the versatility of Hood, and we are seeing it on display.
Not taking reverb because of the ability accuracy. Really, really strong. There you go.
And we're tied up 1 apiece. That feels good. That feels very, very good. I also have to say, I selfishly kind of enjoy seeing that out of Gallon, because I know when he first came into the game and it was the BG meta too, and I was like, look, I don't think he's going to get nerfed. I think unfortunately what we're seeing is these nodes that are just like, this is the epitome of his height, and without these, he's still going to obviously be excellent, but we're not going to see these extremes. And so I do enjoy seeing that, right? That's not his ideal matchup. They're not on a node accentuating him or anything like that. We saw a very respectable score, a very good score,
right?
But can't be beat. It's not this outrageous thing.
Big agree. Chat, I'm going to steer it away from what you think I should nerf or buff in my official capacity. I'm here for Vega's tournament. Let's focus on that.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you doing that. Let me see if I can. I don't know how I can share. Why is it only? Oh, I shared the wrong thing. That's why. How do I change what I share with you?
Probably have to stop sharing and share again. Interesting to see the early Shuri pick, but it does make sense. She's a really good 7-star. Gallon and Tigra again also makes sense. cool seeing Bryce draft Mojo there because I know that he actually considers him more of an attacker than a defender. Ah, that did it. Thank you. Appreciate that, Thunder.
I think this match got started early. In that, you know, I usually say it's the third one. I think we saw it in the second one, and I think MU8's winning that really just sets the tone. I'm predicting a bit of a back and forth. I think this might be our first televised, or yeah, let's call it televised. Let's go with it. That's a 7.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and close the poll. Most versatile skill attacker in BGs. Valkyrie still has, that's dominant, 68% over 32%. I can't disagree. I think it's Kate, but I have a rank 4 Kate, and I don't even really play my Valkyrie. She's rank 3. Interesting to see a lot of really smart players saying still Valkyrie. She can do more breadth, more versatile.
Yeah, worth pointing out in Valkyrie's favor, her utility is part of her damage ramp. It's not mutual, or it's not like one doesn't delay the other, which is intentionally why Kate is the way she is.
Yeah. And just like kind of furthering the point, you know, I was saying smart players, like Finn was saying it. We had a couple other players saying it too. And KT1's even saying like both are great. Valk just a bit more. All right, here we go. So we've got Tiger versus Terax, Doom versus Gallon. This is one of like Tiger's ideal matchups, correct?
Right. And this is also awesome, like arguably if you know how to do it right, this is the Mystic to do this matchup without neutralize.
Although MU8's already at the SP3 up top there.
Mm-hmm. Because reminder that Gallon is not immune to stagger, and so using that not to control his buffs, but as a means of Mystic dispersion can work very well.
And then we see a mistake. Bitter had Terax so close to death, like 20%, and then the mistake happens.
Yeah, and you can see as Finn's calling out, like that's, I think I missed the exact mistake, but from the context, I think what happened is going for, as Finn's calling it, aggro-septing, like intentionally using the sidestep window as a way to get your heavy off because the opponent's being aggressive enough, which, you know, the reason we don't do it in war, or I tell people not to do it in war, is that exactly that. It works until it doesn't.
I have the same question that Beguile has. What the heck just happened in Doom versus Gallon? I'm going to have to go back and watch that because I would have never imagined that score. He went for the double Fury, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying
the other thing to remember is that the Doom cycle is you throwing a lot of specials relative to how many specials your opponent throws, and that means you're knocking Gallon down a ton and you don't care about mass.
That was very impressive. I personally have to go back and watch that. Well, we've got a chance here. I mean, I think MU8 has already shifted the momentum a little bit, at least to even. I think if he takes this 2-0, he's definitely grabbed momentum.
I'll take your word for it, Finn. I don't consider anything guaranteed when the AI is at play.
I've never tried this Spot versus Cersei, but this is kind of feeling like a good match because, you know, none of Cersei's attacks make contact. Meaning, parrying her, stunning her can be a bit of an issue, but Spot's really not too worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
One of his great pieces of utility is just kind of creating his own openings.
For anyone listening but not watching, Vega definitely meant Shuri.
Yeah, thanks. What did I say?
No, you said Cersei, but no worries.
Whatever. Cersei, Shuri, they're all the same. It looks like he's setting this up, and he's going to do the medium into the special 2, and I believe that's going to finish off Shuri. Yep. Shuri. Not Cersei, but Shuri. I don't think the health loss of Spot's going to be enough to make up for this time difference. It's not a massive time difference. This is a nice fight out of Bryce here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Okay, this is the big one. We've talked about this extensively. And yeah, I'm all happy to put up another poll.
I hate Highline. That's an interesting one. I can't imagine Black Cat working too well for this.
I was able to catch very small pieces of the matchup last night, not enough to really stay. And I saw Bryce using Black Cat. I don't think this was the matchup. I think it was against a Wiccan, and he was using the Striker potentially, or not the Striker, but the Relic with some great success.
Yeah, like I can see the Relic will do it, and then you're just doing damage against a small health pool. And obviously you can use heavies and you can use lights, right? But important to remember that like Spidey has that anti-ability accuracy reduction clause, and so like it's for his personal stuff, so the Relic will work fine, but that's why you're seeing all of these misses, because it doesn't matter what combo Black Cat is at. It doesn't matter if she has her sabotage. That Spider Seal's happening anyway.
Yeah. And looks like he paid the price for it. One thing I've noticed about a lot of Bryce's matchups is he seems unaffected by momentum. Like I think a lot of people this would kind of bum them out, put him a bit of a downer. And Bryce just seems almost like immune to that. I expect him to come out in this 4 set just exactly the same as he would have, as if that fight had gone well. Yeah, as you can see, they're just moving directly. Actually, it's Bitter who's saying he needs to restart, which is smart. Make sure you do that when you're playing like a long BG session or anything like that. You'll see Karate Mike do that quite a few times. Make sure you do it. Just kind of refresh your phone, refresh the app.
Yeah, Finn, I will give you that one, but that's because Nick's designer liked using very, very large modifiers.
This is interesting. I'm surprised to see Kingpin beating Valkyrie. I mean, he's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan.
Kingpin is a lot easier to use.
That's true. Which is probably why I have a rank 4 Kingpin, but I have a rank 3 Valkyrie. But you, Bryce in his veins.
And knock it off, Wally.
Yeah, Kingpin is built a little differently, man. Even like the day he went buffed, I think I had him. He was a champion that I had ranked beforehand. I had made some sort of like deal with my channel that I would just randomly rank one of the. I was like, I'll rank one of the champions that's getting buffed, and I remember his buff wasn't like as well received. I don't remember who he got buffed with, but theirs was it Falcon maybe? And it was like Falcon was clearly amazing, and just by our nature, like we couldn't help but compare them. And I started playing Kingpin a little bit. I'm like, no, good things just keep happening. I'm not even totally sure why, but good things just keep happening with them, and I'm healing. Yeah, so it's been cool to see. I do think he's a little more. I'm not sure what the word is.
I think Finn's comment comes down to it to me. I think in any given meta, there's a good chance that Valk will be the more versatile attacker, but more metas are going to turn her off than him.
Yeah, that sounds right. That makes sense. All right, so let's see this. So we've got, hey, Forgotten, how you doing, bud? Thanks so much for being here. Old Man Easy Kingpin is more flexible. I mean, that's probably true. It's just funny, and I think that's why you put it in quotes.
Just laughing because yoga.
Yeah. There's just a lot of. I don't think anyone wants to see that man stretching. Anyways, so we've got Iceman, Atuma, and Sunspot. I do believe those were the original bands. And we're seeing still Viv band on the other side. It's like they feel confident where they're at. I think I could see reasons why they would both feel confident in how this matchup's going so far.
Yeah, for sure, KT.
I hated Kingpin, and well, I guess it's not the current one. I haven't played the new meta that came out today, but in the last one, I couldn't handle him. Just anytime I saw him, I was like, oh, I guess I'm losing. Okay, that's cool.
That's a nice rotation you got built up there. Be a shame if I sat on my special one for 6 minutes waiting for everything you have to expire. I hate him so much.
Yeah, it's Rintra is still the worst for me. I just hate Rintra, as everyone probably knows. You've heard me say it a million times. I hate Rintra, but Kingpin in this last meta sure was close. A close second.
Yeah. There are ways around. I have characters in my deck for him, but he's annoying.
Oh, all right, here we go.
Versus Abs.
I was about to say my girl Kate, but it feels a little odd given who's on call with me. So your girl Kate versus your boy Carl. And then I am not going to doubt MU8s with Crossbones at all. So I want to see this. I know how quickly Kate can do this, but I want to see Crossbones versus Korg.
Yeah, Crossbones versus Korg is an interesting one because Korg does have a bit of crit resist, right? And Crossbones, if you've tried this matchup, you know without me confirming, Crossbones is one of the only, I think is the only champion who, quote, can't crit, who is actually rolling to crit. The tech champions that do this get around crit resistance, which you can test very easily by using them against like Doom or something. They still get their effects. Crossbones is actually slowed down by crit resist, and so you get fewer Furies against somebody like Korg, and we're already seeing that here. It's very annoying.
At the moment, he is winning, though. Bitter did have a mistake against the SP1, that sneaky SP1. But, I mean, Bryce looks on pace to pull this off, even with those cold snaps starting to stack.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce just has to keep it going.
Yeah. We are really seeing Absorbing Man's regen being missing health come into play here. Because if you don't have a true counter, it can feel like you're making progress and it just grinds to a halt.
You know what was really interesting for me watching that Crossbones versus Korg was Bryce went for the wake up intercept, and I thought he did it the first time McCorg had 1 bar of power, but I saw it kind of late. He definitely did it a second time and was able to still block in time to block the SP1. I did not realize that was doable.
Yeah, I think it's somewhat champion dependent, but if you've practiced it enough.
For those who don't know how I'm using the term wake up intercept, that's basically essentially hitting them as they're getting up before they have the ability to block or attack themselves. And it's something I never try if they have a bar of power, but Bryce just pulled it off twice.
Yeah, Nick makes a good point that Bitter did miss a single perfect release.
Did he? Okay.
And that is basically Kate's intent. If you miss one, she's not supposed to win as much.
I tried really hard to get her perfect release without slowing down time at all, and then I just gave up. And I've had pretty good success slowing it down. I mean, I realize it's another second or two, and that I think is reflective of the tiers I'm playing in BGs. But it's been very successful.
I'm still not 100% sure that it is an extra second. I honestly don't know how the timer works, but.
Oh, in regard to BG timing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think if you get good at slowing down, as long as you just do it late, it's maybe costing you a half second.
That's how it feels. Essentially what you're saying.
Yeah. And I think that just tends to be worth it.
Oof. I think this is essentially a similar thing to what FinTech was pointing out earlier with the aggro septing is it's like Terox is like, oh, you sure I'm going to jump in? How about a little light or a stutter step?
I read that as Bitter missing a re-parry.
Oh,
or maybe forgetting about masochism. I'm not 100% sure, but there were a lot of armor breaks up.
If Bryce wins this, and it looks like he will, this is what we've often talked about, where you win a fight you were not expecting to. And
don't give up.
Yeah, don't give up. And also, I've just seen it shift momentum so much. Now, I think there wasn't really a strong momentum in this anyway, because this will really just tie up the match. But it's definitely something that can make a competitor feel more confident. Like, you will see it when there's face cam. We'll see it in their gameplay. But as we said, Bryce kind of has ice water in his veins, like OG Highline said. So he was playing aggressively anyway.
Yeah. What's really interesting is that I honestly wonder if it might have flipped if Bitter had gotten off just the one special two. Like that's the brutal thing about Cersei is you're doing nothing until you do a whole lot very quickly.
And Finn's kind of defining the aggro-septing terms, basically a way to safely land heavies without needing to parry or bait. Heavies are specials. It's basically a way to safely land heavies. So you're heavy intercepting? Why not just call it heavy intercepting?
Because you're doing it specifically like in roughly the same spot as where you would use a light attack for a sidestep. Okay. And you are relying on the AI being aggressive for it to work. Because otherwise they could come in for a medium, dash back out, your heavy doesn't land, and then they punish you with the full combo.
Very good. Yeah, essentially you and Finn, I think, are saying the same thing. Infamous. Hey, what's up, Infamous? How you doing, bud? Well, as you know, we want the best of 7. We're on our way to it. We got a 2-2 tie. It's down to 3 sets. Feels weird to say it, given how good these guys are and how well they're playing right now. The loser's done. The loser's season, first season of VBC is over. The winner continues on. And for those of you who are tuning in to see Mclz1nkz versus Happy, we will shift to that as soon as this one is over. right about now, it looks like even if this goes to full best of 7, we are on pace to probably not miss any of the action there.
I probably will miss that one. To somebody else's comment as to whether I'm on the clock. This is the Pacific lunchtime lunch break.
Yeah.
Or sorry, Pacific. Ugh, you guys know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you being here, Durian. I can feel my, I wish I had eaten a little something, but it is what it is. But I appreciate you being here and taking that time. We've not seen future Ant-Man. He's been an option quite a few times, and he's not gotten drafted. That kind of surprises me. I realize it could just be draft dependent. There he is. There we go. We may need to remember that later. Bittersteel had the ability to pick one of your 2 creations and chose not to go with either of them.
Yeah, I just went with one of the most busted Battlegrounds characters of all time. I think I can forgive it.
Yeah.
Elaborating on Finn's point, the idea for specifically using a heavy is that if you go for an intercept against Terrax or Weapon X, like a medium intercept, then they can catch you with the light, right? But throwing the heavy is more likely to land specifically as long as they don't dash back. It matters less like whether they follow that medium with another light or with a medium. It just matters that they're within range. Now, there are quirks of animations that can get around that, which is why I'm not willing to test it in War, and I will leave that to Finn and Beguile. But yeah, that's why it feels so safe that the window you need for the heavy isn't even as tight as for a medium to be safe. Spot versus Mephisto is cool. I like the blocking against the specials with the multi-hits. Definitely take a little bit, but nice way to ramp.
I know this is going to sound strange for a fight that took 56 seconds or 54, I guess. That Archangel fight versus Mojo's felt slow. Does anyone know the rank of Bryce's Mojo?
That is a rank 5.
It is a rank 5. Okay, that would explain it. I was just considering, I think he had up to 7 neuros up there. I'm like, I mean, it's going fast, don't get me wrong, but not as fast as I would have expected. Slayer of Gods, thank you so much for being here, bud. Yeah, we all do. We all like both these guys, you know. All right, so Bittersteel takes the lead in the 5th set here. Get the scoreboard updated. This just feels like a tough matchup for Spot. The way the 2 champions kind of want to work. Is that normally a matchup that can go well? Spot versus Mephisto?
I mean, it can specifically because Spot can win matches while landing fewer hits than others, right?
Okay.
And so that's the advantage. That part works. But you don't really have anything to deal with the RNG of Mephisto proccing Aura. You don't have any control to the power gain from Aura. You don't have any resistance to either Incinerate or Energy. You don't have a guaranteed way to stop the healing when he gets to that. So, like, it works, but it's more like a good player using Spot than Spot being particularly good for it, in my opinion.
Okay. Which explains...
Yeah, KT saying you want to do 2 special ones to space out the bursts makes a ton of sense.
Okay. I mean, that would explain why I was like, I just don't think this is a good matchup, or why there's players in the chat And you're saying like, well, here's how it could in theory, here's how you could do it. This feels like a similar situation up here with the spot versus bishop. I mean, he's doing a nice job getting his portal blocks, landing his ruptures, trying to make sure bishop doesn't throw the SP1. He's going with his own SP1. Only gets hit by the last part of the special 2, so that's, I mean, obviously he wants the full dex, but...
Right. Nice that it didn't crit.
Yeah.
But you could see him hitting once, staying open, and being like, throw it, throw it, throw it. And Bishop just said no.
Yeah, not today. One of the most interesting things that I wanted to see how it played out for me before I made a comment on it with these two is they both love Valkyrie. And they both know how versatile she is. They both know how much she can do. And were they going to consider banning her, knowing that they themselves would not have the opportunity to use her? It seems like right now they're still comfortable. They're both comfortable with RNG deciding if one of them's going to get her or both or neither. And it's come back to bite them both a lot. She's done great things for each of them, but also then vice versa, hurting them. Hey, what's up, Blacks? Thanks for being here, bud. Oh, you don't think Bitter meant to L1? Okay. Yeah, that could be true.
Man, this is a really interesting set of unideal matchups.
Yeah. You can even see a little bit of indecision in how to go about doing it. And like I was just saying, these are both great Valkyrie players. I mean, this is very much like I would assume if a great Tiger player goes up against Finn. It's like, do I ban them or do I just keep them because I want to use them too?
You're seeing really good use here on Bryce's side of the AI manipulation part of Surging Swarm, giving him easy access to those light intercepts. Obviously, the whole being parried part hurts.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Surging Swarm helps a lot with that.
Let's see if Bitter pulls off that he does. A nice little pause. We've seen that a lot. Throws off the SB2. And Wiccan has the health pool of like a piece of paper. So that's over. Yeah.
And Valkyrie's damage is physical, and so he ends it before the auto spells become a problem.
This is a heavyweight match. They're just throwing blows at each other. This is pretty crazy. I mean, they've literally alternated. Bitter's taken the first, the third, the fifth, Bryce the second, and the fourth. And I'm sure everyone's caught on. Bryce is MU8, MU8 is Bryce. UK, yeah, essentially that's what I'm saying here is they both love Valkyrie. I think they both have rank 5 Valkyries. They both use her exceptionally well. They both love her. They both know how powerful she is. And so that chess match portion of this all of if I ban a champion who's very powerful that my opponent uses well, I'm also taking it away from myself. So far, we've seen them both unwilling to do that. They both are accepting of it, and I mean, she's made a massive difference in this whole matchup. Yeah, the bans are staying the same. They're both continuing to just let this happen.
Mm-hmm. If Bitter keeps his exact rhythm, he wins. If Bryce breaks it once, he wins.
Yeah. And if you've caught one of Bryce's streams, you're aware that he may be completely oblivious to this. Like I think he's just very focused in the moment.
I could definitely see Bryce finishing a tournament match by waiting 90 seconds and going, "Oh, are we done?"
Yeah, I think that's how he ended his match with Mclz1nkz. I caught the very tail end, and he's like, "I think
I was having fun."
Yeah, he's like, "I think I just won." Oh man, I think that means I'm still alive in the tournament. Like, yes, dude, you won. That's exactly what it means. That's literally what it means. I'd love to see some Cersei gameplay. Selfishly want to see Cersei. Want to see best of 7 more though.
Mm-hmm.
Picks a buff immune there in Ant-Man. Now his Ant-Man is rank 4, rank 5. I know he's skilled with him.
Bryce's is 4, yeah.
Okay. So I'm assuming that might be for that mojo. Is that maybe the thought there?
That, or maybe getting enough poisons to cut through Carl.
Yeah, good point. Then gets a mojo of his own. Valkyrie's only on one side of this match, but he did get a Kate. BMcG, what's up, buddy? Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I agree, Finn. That's an interesting one. I suppose the idea is to slow down Hulkling, but obviously that's less relevant here with these bans. Me too, KT. If I could pick my next 3 7-stars, Shuri would be first.
I have to tell you, having Shuri at rank 2 is real, and it's wonderful.
Yep. That would talk me out of rank 5 Ant-Man.
Yeah. I can't help but just watch the spot here. What I would think is stacking up those ruptures, getting to the big SP2, medium SP2. Hopefully doing it when Sassy is not with a large stack of rage.
Mm-hmm. Really clean light intercepts from Kingpin over on Bryce's side as well to quickly break the shield. Hasn't taken thorns since maybe the very beginning.
Is this Kingpin 4 or 5? I know he was early with the rank 4 Kingpin. Do you happen to know if it's rank 4 or 5?
Sorry, 1 second. I forget on Bryce's Kingpin. I think it might be a rank 4.
Oh, the Wrath of Tanarek kicked in literally at the perfect moment for Bittersteel. he had to play it and set it up, but geez, if for those who were watching that side, that kicked in at exactly the right second, and he pounced on it. It was almost like you could see him being like, "There it is."
Yeah. I think that was actually a small mistake on Bryce's part, using the counterpunch into a medium instead of a light. I bet he didn't mean to do that. But it's been very clean, but that was the perfect spot closeout, like you said.
It was just, like I said, I'm going to watch this because I'm just interested. I love Spot. And so I was really focusing on that. And I saw the Wrath of Tanarek switch over just as it was happening. It was like, do it better, do it. But now I need to cheer for Bryce to win 2 in a row to get my best of 7.
Depending on what's available on July 4th, I definitely see myself having a rank 4 spot before too long.
If you could maybe talk to someone, have them put out like a rank 4 spot gem, maybe a rank 4 5, I would like that, I might be getting a little specific, but hey, thanks for being here, Larry, Travis, everyone.
Man, I'm gonna have to keep this one up in the background, but I've got a meeting to jump into.
I appreciate you being here, buddy.
Yeah, really well played thus far to both of them, and yeah, great tournament again.
Of course, buddy.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks for everything you're doing. Have a great one.
Too.
We'll have to put that poll up next as soon as this in between sets. Hopefully, Bryce pulls this off. We get a 7th set, and I will put up the poll: Better Science, BG, Spot, or Scorpion. I would think this matchup favors Bryce up there with his Mojo versus Cersei, going to reduce the duration of those buffs. Looks like she still is getting the glancing though, but I think all that's just going to turn into degen. And I do not believe Absorbing Man has anything special to handle that man thing. So I would think this is a bit of an efficient play on Bitter's part here. TJ, I'd love that, buddy. Thank you. I would love it if Legacy and KT1 just went back and forth with nah and yeah. That would be hilarious to look over at the chat and see that. Excellent evade. Bryce pulls it off. I thought I might have jinxed him there because I said it in the middle of the evade versus Cersei. Really, really nice play. And then I say it, and of course he takes a little bit of a heavy to the face, but it looks like he's going to close this out and force a third game in this pivotal 6. He needs to win. He got the first one done. He's got to win 2 in a row. He's won the first. It's kind of like awakening a champion. You can't awaken them until you pull them the first time, right? Once you do that, then you got a shot. Here we go. Bryce wins this. We got our best of 7. Bitter's got a chance to close this out. You know, if you're Bitter, you do not want to go best of 7. You got a chance to close it out. You close it out. Oh man, I was really hoping for the nah and yeah to go back and forth. Mojo and Overseer, I think Kate's gonna. Oh, well, the skill attackers. This is exactly what we were talking about. We set this up earlier. I was telling you, they're not banning each other's Valkyrie. They both want her. In this case, though, only MU8's got her. However, Bitter still got someone who I know what FinTech and KT1 in the chat was saying. For me, Kate's versatile. She can do some damage. Watch how this goes. This is going to be a total race here between these amazing skill attackers. Gets the perfect release on the left side. It's a big deal. You're going to see that cold snap just ticking down. These are going to be very different styles, right? I know it looks like Kate is winning right now, and I guess in theory she is, but there's the SB2. Does a nice job, and I think we're seeing the end. It's a total race. We've got the second cold snap on now. You're really going to see melting out of this Overseer. And Kate wins with Bittersteel. Unbelievable. 400 points, less than 400 points between the two of them. A phenomenal finish. I'll take that over going to best of 7. An amazing performance from both of these guys. Unbelievable. Absolutely wild. Watching it live, I actually thought Valkyrie had it. So that was cool to see. They're showing us both kind of the recap here. I want to see this. I mean, the times were exactly the same, both 45 seconds. It's just that Kate had 100% health. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That was Bitter. Bitter had joined. He's going to be joining. I think he's going to help do a little bit of co-hosting with me here. Bryce is also able to join. It's also the work day for both of them, though. So we'll see what can happen. I am going to be quiet here for a few seconds or a few minutes while we get you transferred over.
Hey, Vega, can you hear me?
Yeah. But we're getting a little bit of echo. I think maybe you're listening to the stream.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Sorry. I've just turned you down a sec. I've just muted it. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
No worries. We'll get it all sorted, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. And like I said, chat, there'll probably be a little bit of silence for a few minutes while we move over to get up Mclz and Happy, okay? So we've got a Happy side. Now let me switch over to Twitch, which is where Okay. And we'll get those adjusted. I'll set up the board. Thank you for everyone who's tuning in now. You just saw, hopefully, the conclusion to an absolutely epic matchup between Bittersteel and MU8. You can see the score, I know, but trust me, it's worth watching at least the last 10 minutes of it. Phenomenal play from both of them. MU8's his VBC season 1 is over. He did a phenomenal job even just qualifying for this and then making it into this playoff stage up against Bittersteel. Bittersteel is going to advance, move on, and if I remember correctly, we'll now face the loser of this matchup, right? This tournament, this Battleworld is a double elimination tournament. Bittersteel did have one loss in the group stage, but has qualified, moved on to the consolation bracket. We're calling it the Deadlands bracket. I'll bring it up very quickly because I don't feel like we're missing. Yeah, we're live, completely live on Happy versus Mclz1nkz. So here is the Deadlands bracket. Here's the championship bracket, just setting the stage for you here. You can see Mclz1nkz versus Happy. That's number 2. The winner of this will go on to face Legacy. Legacy is finally going to get to actually play in the tournament. And same with FinTech, right? And you can see that we've got TJ versus Andrew the Ref tomorrow. The matchup we're bringing you right now, Mclz1nkz versus Happy McMuffins. The loser of that, you can see, will be 2. Will be right there where it says defeated of 2, and will play a Bittersteel. This is a double elimination tournament. All the competitors have earned that just by even qualifying for this. I'm very excited to bring it to you. Big day, phenomenal performance by Bittersteel and MU8S. Thank you both, gentlemen, for everything you provided, all the show and knowledge to share. Everyone, please go support their channels. They're both linked in the description. I'm going to be quiet here for a few seconds while I set up the scoreboard for all of us.
So hey, bud, I'm here now.
Oh, hey, that is this no other than Bryce and Bittersteel. I think they're both in the chat. Fellas, phenomenal performance. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of turn it over to you. Hopefully you got to hear a lot of what I was saying. Thank you, both of you, for the phenomenal performances, the education, the knowledge, and the entertainment that you've put on for all of us over the course of a full season of this.
Thank you.
Amazing show you guys just both put on.
I appreciate it. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this one out there. Bitter, what in the world was that last fight that you just did? That 45-second Kate matchup. I was so confident in that. I was like, all right, that feels good. We both finished at 45 seconds. You finished at 100%. I finished at like 98.
Honestly, the difference there is the slight willpower healing that you get from the Overseer's special concussions. That fight is unreal. I came out and like I need to stop underestimating you with Valk, which it sounds weird coming from me, but like that Moore fight that you first did was incredible, and then coming out of that Mojo fight, I mean, I know it can go well, but I wasn't expecting it to go that well. I felt pretty confident coming out, and then I saw how close it was. It was absolutely wild.
Yeah, we even talked about Valkyrie before we started our matchup. And you made a comment about if I hit 54,000 points, you would be very impressed. And then you had one where you had 55,000 even.
I think we both had some pretty good Valk matches. If people didn't know, she's quite good. But yeah, I'm just glad that I've matched up with someone in this tournament that won't ban Valk.
Yeah, I love her too much. I love her to ban her and not be able to use her.
100%. 100%. I'm just
also,
trying to look.
I don't know if. I'm sorry. I'm hearing a bit of an echo. I don't know if that's on your end or not.
That might be me. If I join from my phone, it might be a little better. I don't usually have an echo, but
it seems like potentially. I'm sharing my screen, so you might need to mute that on the Discord side or mute the stream on the YouTube side if you have that up.
It's neither of them are going. It sometimes happens with my speaker. If I'll jump off and I'll join back from my phone.
Okay,
sounds good.
You both have delightful voices. I enjoy hearing them in stereo like that, but I am glad that we got that sorted. As we
sure you don't want to hear it twice as much.
What I want is twice as loud. Bryce, a phenomenal performance. It was really interesting that you immediately went to that, because I didn't want to say it in the beginning, and I just wanted to kind of let it play out and see how you both handled it. And then I think it was in the 5th set, I kind of wanted to highlight to the chat that both of you are phenomenal with Valkyrie. You both recognize how amazing she is. And you both, as a result, chose, you're like, I'm not banning her. It was the thought there, like, she's just too fun to ban. Was it, I'm going to let RNG decide who gets to have her? What were you kind of thinking on that one?
We didn't make like a formal agreement about it, but before we started this matchup today, we were both messaging each other, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm really excited to go up against somebody that's not going to ban her." And I was joking around, and I was like, "Haha, wouldn't it be funny if we just like saw who was a better Valkyrie player?" And I mean, here we are, and I'm glad that we both got to use her quite a bit. There's no champion in this game that I feel more comfortable with and more confident with than Valkyrie, and being able to actually use her in this tournament, where Bitter knows very well that I know how to use her well. It was a good time, and then seeing him do even better than I did on a couple of those matchups. I mean, again, he hit 55,000 points on one of those rounds, which is incredible. But it was a great time.
I will just jump in and say that the 55k was against like Wiccan, who has like an Act 2 health pool size.
Yeah, but still.
I would be much more impressed with that more one. I said to my chat when it happened, I just pretty much clapped and just went, yeah, that's the first thing that I'm going to do after this. I'm going to go back and watch that, because I know it can work well, but to line everything up takes a lot of skill, and I was very impressed with that.
Well, thank you. I have a pretty tight rotation with Valkyrie that I've gotten down quite well. I mean, you've seen the war bosses that I've taken with her.
Yes.
And it's basically just that same rotation, and it's flexible, but when it works really, really well.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
So we put it up in the chat earlier. Essentially, it was like, who's more flexible? Who's the more flexible? The idea was that they're both amazing, more flexible skill attacker, and the first poll was Valkyrie versus Kate. Without you, I'm not going to even tell you guys what the answers were, or what I thought, or the poll answer was. Do you guys have any thoughts on
it? Personally, I think that Valk is more flexible. She can handle some very specific things that other champions just can't. But I mean, of course, Kate is an extremely good champion as well, and when she is able to do the things that she's built to do, huge shout out to DLL for that one. But obviously, she does an incredibly good job.
I'd agree with Bryce. Valk just counters so much, and like what stops Valk is kind of buff actual nullification, and when something goes wrong with hitting them on the block, like potentially spot. I think Kate has more that shuts her down in terms of energy regen or resistance, and then cold snap immunity. But it's comparing like a 9.9 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 for me. They're both so incredible.
Essentially, the chat agreed with you. A lot of the players who said they had both did give the nudge to Valkyrie. She did win the poll. And I could see people asking, I know a lot of people are joining to see this matchup, or just this is when you're able to join. I believe they're going to get started right now. It looks like, in fact, potentially. I don't know what the holdup is, but scheduling and all that can be difficult. So I'm sure they'll be started very, very soon. I'm looking for messages from either of them. I don't have any. So I think they're just kind of waiting for probably that first invite to go out. Of course, they both want to concentrate on the match and give their both best performance. I enjoy seeing the face cam. And Marcelo, if you're not familiar with McLinks, Marcelo, he does stream on Twitter. The link to his channel is in the description. He puts on a fantastic show. Oh, let's let him know. Yes, go ahead and start. I don't know if he's listening, but yes, let me let him know. I see him in the chat. He's a phenomenal player, puts on a great show. So I do want to kind of keep the face cam in there if we can. I'll put up a poll to see if folks are like, no, we want to see more of the gameplay. I just really like seeing his reactions. He puts on a great show. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Bitter and Bryce, MU8S, and TJ. I'm going to kind of turn it over to you two, or you three, here for a few minutes. Thanks for being here, guys.
Of course. Hello, sir. Hey, bud.
Bryce,
hey,
I'd like to just say congrats on that performance. I mean, I was saying to my chat how incredible you were doing, and how sometimes it's just hard to compete with the sort of scores you're putting up. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing in the next few tournaments, and thanks for that incredible back and forth game. It was so much fun.
Of course, man. That was a ton of fun. Also, Spidey Supreme, the bane of my existence. I like panicked through Ant-Man back into my deck, just like as a thing where I was like, man, I should really probably do something about this because I keep on losing to him.
He's a pain, an absolute pain on defense when you don't have a counter.
It's a menace.
Absolute.
One thing I will say about that match is that I feel like it's going to be an instant classic. Like we've had a few in these tournaments where, like, they've been ridiculous. That was something else.
Thanks.
Like both of you just played absolutely phenomenally.
Appreciate it. That's the thing, especially with like just this tournament in general, is like these are all really good players. Most of us all, know each other and have played around each other for a long time. But like everybody in this is super skilled, and it's really fun going up against somebody that is gonna kind of put you in your place.
Oh yeah,
that's my favorite part of this whole thing is like when you really get into it with somebody and y'all are we're going back and forth on these rounds.
So I've got that tomorrow.
Yeah. I also love it because Bryce, you and I haven't faced each other before. I don't think I've ever played you in a single victory track or glad circuit or anything. So it was
really. Have we not?
I don't think I've ever played you, and
man.
I've seen you play a lot in way back in like the first Vega tournaments, and I've just always loved your deck. Like you got me hooked on Cersei, and now she's my first rank 5. And Storm X is great as well. Got her a 7-star. So it was great to come up against that sort of deck and not really know what to expect.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. You and I actually had pretty similar decks overall. We kept on like picking the same ones, like kind of mirroring each other. Like we almost always had Spot, Valkyrie, Mojo, Cersei in almost every round.
Yeah, agreed. And like Spot is so vital in this meta because he's one of the only science champions that can really deal with it. This meta really takes science champions and challenges them. So I was glad.
I wish I was better at playing him. You were
so
crazy good with him.
Yeah, he's so fun. Unreal.
KT says everyone has pretty similar decks up top. I disagree, but good champs are good champs.
I agree to some extent, but I think you do have enough variability to really notice when someone has a weird deck. Quotes.
I mean, Bryce is a perfect example of that, and he always has been.
Agreed.
Thank you.
All right, I was, the most important thing here was the poll of face camera, larger gameplay. I'm kidding about it being a sport, but larger gameplay has slowly taken enough of a lead where I will go ahead and do that. I'm telling you all, though, if you're doing that, go subscribe to Mclz1nkz or whatever the term is on Twitch. Puts on a phenomenal show. Has a very passionate following, crowd and audience and fans. It's really, really fun. I'm glad the tournaments have introduced me to them, and I'm really glad they have. So I will go ahead and make the gameplay larger. But if you do me a solid, do me a favor, go make sure you support him. Let him know we sent him, and we appreciate all the gameplay he's putting on for us. And let's go ahead and get this match started.
Right, this is interesting. I don't know who's running recoil here, if any of them are.
I would assume Happy is, because I believe
Happy is.
Yeah.
Happy is and Marcelo isn't.
I just as a quick prediction based on having watched both of them perform in this tournament so far. I think Marcel may end up switching over. Do you know if he does sometimes run them?
Whenever I've done friendlies with him, which has been a fair amount, he's never ran them.
Well, then he'll probably stick with what he's comfortable with. But Happy with the recoil tree is just Well, I'll let you all watch it and
Scary.
see it. Yeah, I'll let you all see it.
Yeah, I can
that's why I'm so
We've
scared
seen
of
it before. He's a monster when he gets rolling.
That's why I'm so
Also,
scared
I'd
of
love
Andy.
to see. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there, TJ. I was just going to say, love to see Hulk getting some representation in this tournament. He is really good after his buff.
That's unfortunate. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a tough one there.
Unstoppable got him just as he was going for the kill.
So I don't like watching this Hulk gameplay because it makes me want one even more. I just can't get him.
As I've said, I hate Rintra. Like stuff like that is sorry, that's actually an error. All the happy fans out there, I know there's a lot of you. I did not mean to mess with you there. That was an accident. McLinks obviously takes that first one. That's the part of what I hate about Rintra. There's just so much I can't stand, and I'm not happy that it happened to Happy there, but it makes me feel a little bit better to see a player of his skills have something like that happen to him.
Mm-hmm. Rincher's just such a pain. There's so much you have to focus on constantly. That's why I ban him as often as I do. Even with like a proper counter, it's so easy to mess up that fight.
Yeah, my Rintra sees a lot of bans, and he's not even an obvious rank 5.
Rye, if you get my co-hosts riled up, I will time you out. I just want you to know that right now.
Yeah, I time him out instead.
Thank you, Slayer, for sharing that, because that is important to me. The links are also in the description, but there's the link right there to McLinks' channel on Twitch. Very, very entertaining, knowledgeable, great player.
Vig, can I time Rai out?
But let's wait. We gave him the warning. You got to give a warning.
So this is interesting because a few matches ago we had Andrew the Rough, take Sasquatch with Scorpion while running recoils, and he went for the Rupture to be immune to the poison. And Happy's taken a different route, and he's gone for the poisons to reduce the regen, but he'll be constantly ticking down throughout the fight. So it's interesting to see different strategies for the same fight.
I think that the poison is a better idea because poison, despite the picture of health node, poison still reduces the potency in this meta. So you're not fighting Sasquatch's regen nearly as badly as if he was going with the ruptures. And I think that's going to give him a bit of an edge here. But Marcel is just crushing this fight. That was incredible.
Yeah.
I was too busy watching this.
That was impressive.
That was
He only takes this one 2-0 as well.
I'll tell you, having watched McLinks in this tournament, in my tournaments for a while now, his highs are as good as anyone's. Like they just like this has not surprised me. I could see this going back and forth quite a few times, and I could see McLinks's wins being 2-0, 2-0, or if he loses a game in a set, it's an intentional throw. And I think you're just going to see very consistent amazingness out of Happy. It's just going to be a matter of how often the highs happen for McLinks, based on just having watched them both quite a bit through the tournaments.
Yeah, if Marcelo's going to, if he's on his game, then it's going to be a bloodbath.
Just because he does that to everyone. But again, like I said, Happy's performances have been incredible too. Both of them won their group in the group stage of this tournament. And when they played, it felt like no one was beating them that day. Like it didn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Like just the excellence that they put. So I think we're just getting started.
As somebody who's lost to both of them in this tournament at least twice, to each of them, they're both terrifying to go up against.
It's funny you say that, Bryce, because these two players are the only two that have handed me my losses. Marcel kicked me out of the last tournament, and I lost in the pool stages to Happy, so they are both good.
Yeah, just furthering what you all are saying, K21 and Beguile are both talking about how good MCL McLinks is. So when you get enough of players of this caliber saying that you're good at the game, you're probably really good at the game. Even FinTech's now jumping in on this. And yes, MCL is on Twitch. It's on Twitch. Yeah, it is a little fuzzy, Jorge. I may try to see if I can sort that a little bit. I know it looks worse at the moment, but we'll make it look better here. We'll make it look pretty for everybody.
So I'm more curious to see whether Marcelo tries to just completely out-nuke Happy, or whether there's something else to this that he's going to try.
It is really hard to compete with recoil decks in a recoil meta. This masochism really makes it so that there aren't many downsides to running them.
So that's what I mean, especially since I know Happy has a very well-built recoil deck.
Agreed.
There we go. We spent a few seconds with it not looking so good, but we've got Marcel nice and crisp, nice and clear.
Yeah,
but that's the thing with Happy, right? Like a lot of people, I could run a recoil deck. That doesn't mean I'm going to do well, right? Happy plays flawlessly with it, and I think that's what puts the pressure on you.
Mm. Let's check his land as well. I'm sorry, go on.
Sorry, just to add on to those 2 points from TJ and then Vega. Like you said, it's all about the deck building when you've got a recoil deck. You can't just run recoil and then chuck all your normal champions in. You really need to tailor it. Just if you choose the wrong type of champion, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm not a big fan of running them, because like my deck just isn't, or my rank ups aren't really suited to it.
Well, wasn't it one of you all that's on call that popularized this strategy of Ghost versus Rintra?
Hello.
Yeah, I thought so. Can you explain the strategy a little bit to folks who maybe haven't seen it or aren't used to it?
So ideally, you want him to have no power when you have about a bar and a half, like Happy's just done there. And also you want him to be around 10 charges at that point. Then you just want to spam light attacks. He's doing it okay. Yeah,
Good lord.
Yeah, you just want to spam light attacks, get as many ruptures on as you can. If you get 8, then it's game over. If you get about 4 or 5, then maybe another combo will finish him off. But yeah, like that.
That was nuts. Okay.
He did that very well, I will say.
Yeah,
but
Marcel is also having a very good Tiger versus Doom match. It's just that Ghost fight was very good.
Yeah. It's just, if that goes right, it's very difficult to beat, but it can be, like, it can definitely go wrong. Like, say if he throws a special at the wrong time, or doesn't throw lights into your block or something.
It's similar to
too many charges.
It's similar to the Spot versus Quicksilver. It's either a 55k fight, or it can go down to a 2k fight or a 10k fight because you've messed it up.
Yeah, exactly. Like it is possible to mess that up very badly.
He played it very well, set it up nicely. And it's got to be demoralizing for Marcel to have come out of a pretty much perfect Tiger vs Doom fight, get 53k or near that, and then still have lost.
It's the nature of the game.
It is.
Who pushed first?
I don't recall.
It would have been Marcelo that placed first. So it was a pretty good words. It was a pretty good throw by Happy to throw that Doom in, because it's one of those where you know that they have a good matchup, but you know that you can do it faster if you play well.
That's also interesting because not everyone would do that. It shows Happy's confidence knowing that he can do that Rintra fight so well that he's fine giving Marcel a good match because he knows he's got a better one. Some players, and it's just play styles, but some players would throw down a really bad one knowing to guarantee the win in that first round. So it really shows Happy's confidence here.
Yeah. One thing I've been failing to do today, especially in this new meta. It's all about drafts. This one's a bit more. Wally, I'm not drinking cider. Chill out. And we don't talk about that type of cider until Friday.
Marcel does very well there at the end to throw his L2 part way through. You know, he needed 2 or 3 blocked hits, and to stop Hulkling going indestructible part way through, he throws it into block, gets some damage through the block, and then avoids the indestructible to finish out the fight. Really, really impressive.
That was
Yeah,
an
that was beautiful.
incredibly good fight.
I think both of those were really good. Right, round 3. Don't even know what they've got.
Ooh, Marcel's not in the best position. So he needs a Mega, can't place him, but Herc's going to get trampled. Yeah. Probably have gone with Valk.
Yeah, that's a good play. I feel like he's going to place Rintra. Yep.
So this is probably a fight that Happy hasn't done before with Tigra. So it's learning the spacing on the fly a little bit. It's not like Valkyrie has difficult specials, but it's still something to adapt to.
Yeah, it's not
It works.
a difficult special one or heavy to punish, so it should be a pretty quick fight.
Yeah, I'm going to say if the heavy was like Agent Venom's, where it's really difficult to heavy counter, then this may have been a bit more difficult, but the second hit whiffs, so it's fine.
Another thing is, if he takes too many blocked hits, Valk will start getting pierces. But he's into
There is the neutralize though, so would they go passive because of the neutralize?
They would. I don't know. I don't think they would actually. But if Valk's hitting into your block, you probably don't have a neutralize up. That's the thing.
Okay, yeah, good point.
Still a very solid fight from him on that end.
Yeah, that was a good fight. It's interesting to see how useful Tiger is, even with recoil.
Yeah, she just gets the fights done so quickly. Ooh, and Marcel probably knows he's too fast and forces it a little.
Yeah, I don't think,
Ouch.
It's a tough end to that Rintra fight, but
yeah, I think Happy had him out drafted a little bit there.
Yeah. I swear you've seen Rintra go and stop him near the end of the fight at least like 5 separate times. Yeah, he kind of does that.
I was just about to read that as well. So that is accurate.
The super fun thing about Rintra is that he's the worst. And like almost any other champ in the game, if you get like a good rotation and can corner them, you should be okay and be able to clean up a fight decently well. Rintra just says no.
Especially at the end, because you kind of think, oh, I need to finish this now, and then you forget to knock him down that one time. He's on 5, and then you get 5 neutralizers from a combo, and then he's unstoppable.
Yep, every time.
It's the worst when it's the end of a special attack.
I am interested about Marcel banning Mr. Negative in this meta, because he gets slowed down so much by not being able to reverse regen.
Especially with recoil.
Yeah, it's an interesting ban.
Maybe it's a defensive thing.
You know, well, Hot Fuzz is bringing up that they don't think that Happy was running them in the second set. I honestly wasn't paying attention. I was still working on the screens. Did you all happen to notice if he was?
I did not.
Let me go back and check
Ooh.
this.
He's not. Must have
He
switched.
wasn't. Okay.
I mean, that's
That's
happy.
what-
Like, you all talked about Happy having to kind of learn the tiger spacing on the fly there. That's a second adjustment he's made. I've seen him make similar adjustments in these tournaments.
He wasn't.
And this is kind of playing out the way I expected. Of it's the just continuous excellence of Happy versus the absolute incredible highs of Mclz1nkz. It's just, how's it going to play out over the course of 7 rounds?
I'm not sure why he changed. I know he lost the first one, but
I don't know. I don't question Happy though with strategic moves.
It's interesting to see a big enough, as big a strategy change as that early on after just 1 round. Like usually you'll see ban changes in the 3rd or 4th maybe. So it's really weird to see it this early on. He must be really confident.
Yeah, it could also just be to keep your competitor on their toes a little bit. Yeah.
True.
how dare you not catch that? Well, I've actually got one eye and the other one's partially blind. So don't judge Hot Fuzz.
This commentating suddenly got very anti-British. Both of
I'll just cue you in now. It's been anti-British the whole time. It's just now you're aware of it.
Now y'all are paying attention.
that's my naivety.
Look, y'all got a
Oh, I
couple
was
of
just playing
compliments on your
it up, I knew it was
voices. That should be good enough for you, okay? Nick. Oh god.
Is it bad that I can hear the poor attempt at an accent just by reading it?
We've heard him
ringed.
talk like that in voice messages. Like, come on.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. I can hear the accent, and it's horrible.
All right, so
That's
who
the
you all
best.
favor in this one? We got Spot versus Rintra, and then, of course, Absorbing Man versus Hercules. Obviously, now you can see a mistake was made, but before that, who would you have favored?
I'd favor
Normally I would
Absorbing Man.
favor Absorbing Man here, almost for sure. Spot usually isn't going to be knocking Rintra down to remove those charges. That was a nice use of the miss, though, to get that free opening.
Especially if this is a rank 4 versus a rank 5.
Mhm.
See, I would actually favor Spot just because he's such a nuke. Even if everything goes well, that SP2 can actually finish in one go if you get enough portal blocks in the one leading up to the special, and if you get enough ruptures. Having said that, with the rank disadvantage, that might have been the edge.
Yeah, I was going to say that first special 2 didn't even get him down 50%, and Absorbing Man's basically done. And he is done.
That's a very
And also
nice
the
fight.
health isn't enough to make a difference. So
Yeah.
right, of course you were wrong.
I think Na ended up making a good point there, too, right? With the extra healing from the Infuriate. Like, every time I looked over Absorbing Man, it looked like a slight mistake was being made, but his health bar wasn't really going down that much. And then, of course, he gets rid of Herc's immortality, which is part of what makes Herc a tough defender. So nicely done by Mclz1nkz.
I appreciate DLL for doing that.
Yes. The more champions we can get that can do that, the better.
That's why I want Danny so much as well.
Big day for everyone tomorrow, huh?
Well, I can't afford to go big, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's smart.
What's happening tomorrow?
I think I could be wrong. Isn't tomorrow Danny entering the arena, or am I incorrect? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Nah, I'm not buying any Paragons or anything. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We've already talked about this.
I think Happy was in a little bit of a tough spot here, having to put Warlock down. It is a rank 5
Mhm.
Warlock, but Hulkling is going to 9 times out of 10 just smash through this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kitty can handle this Mephisto fight pretty well, especially since she's ramping from all of the aura damage. But just Hulkling hard counters Warlock, and it'll be a very quick fight once he gets rolling.
Interesting to see Happy do this, especially when he's a round down. I'm not sure if he thought he could do the Kitty fight faster than Marcelo could do this. He's not going to.
Yeah, if McLinks had lost that, I would have wanted to go back and rewatch it because I could swear out of the corner of my eye, it looked as though Warlock was blocking part of the unblockable special 2 of Hulkling. Did anyone else see that?
I think he went for the L2 when he didn't have quite enough Pierce buffs to go unblockable until he gained another charge during the L2.
Got it.
But the icons are pretty small, and I don't quite know if I caught it.
Yeah,
That's still very close.
It looked odd. Yeah, that score was a lot closer than I thought. I had already kind of given it mentally to McLinks.
Hmm.
He wasn't unblockable yet? Okay, thanks, Ryan. It just looked to me like he was, but again, I saw it out of the corner of my eye, so I was probably misidentifying one of his buffs as the unblockable.
And having seen Marcel do a similar thing against Hulkling, against Hulkling, I think that was probably calculated. He probably knew, oh, here's my opportunity to get my L2 off. I need to be a little bit quicker. Let's do 1 into block, get my charge during, and then go unblockable. Get my theories.
Yeah, really smart play. I think we may have just seen Happy is now going back to recoil.
It makes sense.
I'm starting to watch that a bit more. He has 2 decks. One appears to be named Vega's Battlegrounds, and the other one's called Ouch, which, I think that's recoil.
Probably outwards.
Yeah.
No, he's sticking with it. He's sticking without it.
Oh, yeah.
So far, have they not been winning their own invites as well? Are they alternating wins at the moment on each other's invites? I'm just trying to figure out who invited this last one.
The first one, I can look that up.
I think Marcelo invited first, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, McLinks invites Happy.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've won their own invites.
To start it off.
Yeah. I was going to say, I would have been confused about that.
Oh,
Yeah, same.
yeah. And Narian, thank you for pointing out, is that I was looking at the wrong side. That was actually Marcel's, not Happy's. MCL is the best. What's up, Claudia? Thank you for being here. This matchup's unusual because it doesn't feel like it's very fitting of both of them the way they play. Often there's like a defender who's causing problems or this attacker who's been dominant. I think this one's really about the 2 people playing.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like this matchup here, you wouldn't have expected. Oh, I'm honestly thinking Marcelo's going to win this because he is very, very comfortable with Red Hulk.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to do anything about Mephisto's healing, but aside from that, this is pretty much Red Hulk's sweet spot, correct?
Yeah, so neither's Spot, so.
But
and also, you do kind of need to rely on the AI hitting into your block to get this going.
I did this fight just a few minutes ago in our matchup, and it's just tough because he wants to be close to the defender a bunch, and if you get unlucky with aura procs, you're just going to be taking so much damage.
Yeah, and it's looking like it's definitely heavily in Marcelo's favour at the moment. Purely based on health.
Yeah.
Even after getting hit there.
Oh, and Mephisto goes red.
And he's gone red.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
tough
this
thing,
one is.
like Bryce says, if you get a few auras and then you're in your Infuriate untouchable phase, he's just staying close to you and you're just ticking down. You really need good RNG to be able to take this fight down fast and in a good health.
Yeah.
I like Happy sticking with it, though, because you just never know.
I mean, I've seen people win on deaths.
Yep.
Absolutely. You never know what's going to happen in the other person's match, even if they have an ideal one.
Need that TJ Scorp RNG to do Mephisto quick. Matt, that wasn't RNG. There's nothing RNG about Scorpion. Marcelo's in chat as well. What's going on? He's playing and he's typing at the same time.
Is there anything he can't do?
Yeah, Matt, we don't talk about that one, okay?
Crossbones versus Hulkling can go really well here. Marcel is a very good Crossbones player as well. And if he gets some decent crit RNG, this fight can go really quickly.
Especially because Hulkling's a hero as well. Like, this could go one of two ways. But I do like Happy's matchup a bit better.
Yeah, Jugs versus Nick can be very, very fast. It makes it much easier to push him to the next bar of power because you don't want him throwing that L1 with the counter punch. It's really useful. Although, having said that, he just leaves him on just a bar of power. Now he's lost his gem, which will really slow down the fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, Marcel is getting some kind of rough Fury RNG here. It just picked up a bit better just now, but it's just, it can be a little bit difficult to keep him as ramped up as you want him to be in some of these more tough defender matchups. But he handled it very well.
Really great fight from Marcel there.
Yeah, that was impressive. And it's going to win this one as well.
Can you imagine that crossover into the 7-star?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I want one.
Really, really would love a 7-star Crossbones. He'd be nuts.
And that's 3-1. Wow.
So
That'll be
Marcel
interesting to see.
breaks the winning on invites. That's a big blow for Happy because now he's going to be down and really need to win.
One thing I'm more interested to see is if Happy changes back or not to recoil. I don't think either of them are changing bands either, which is interesting.
Happy did almost ban Torch there. Switched it last minute.
He did. Then again, Torch haven't even been in play yet.
Mm-mm.
Both of them get Rinchers. No, I agree. The next ban is a really odd one in this meta. Maybe it's just the rank 5 wants to get rid of one of Happy's good champs.
Very surprised to see Marcelo not pick up Valkyrie there. Because Marcelo is one of the best Valkyrie players I know. And I know I'm sat in with two of them.
No, he's fantastic with her as well. Really good.
All right. Well, now we see if Marcel can close this out. I am a little surprised to see this, but like I said, when Marcel is at the top of his game, the highs are the highest I've ever seen. We're going to see double Korg defenders here.
We are. Now, the thing is, I can still fully see this going to round 7.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, all Happy needs is that momentum shift.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be a difficult thing to pull back, but it's definitely possible.
Marcel gets off to a great start with not taking very much damage at all. I think that was all block damage there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Happy takes some damage as well.
Yeah, it's looking
Yeah,
pretty good
I
for
think-
Marcel here.
I think Marcelo's just going to get this down quicker. Yeah.
Very
The
well
power of
played.
Juggernaut.
It was a beautiful fight.
That is the power of Juggernaut.
It's all about getting that first light intercept or take that first shield down, get a couple of unstoppable buffs, and then you can just counterpunch your way through. Jokes is incredible for Korg.
I kind of agree with what Na's saying in the chat right now. To me, this is Marcel just continuing to play the way he's played in this tournament. Like, these are consistently outrageously high scores.
Agreed.
Yeah, when it's Marcelo's day, it's some of the best gameplay you'll ever see.
Just a reminder, the winner of this matchup will go on to face Legacy. Right now, it's looking like it'll be Marcel versus Lags. Let's see.
Ooh, rematch.
This might be the one where he closes it out.
Yep.
Happy has a tough time against this Mephisto unless he gets some really good RNG or Hulk just goes wild.
Marcelo could potentially mistime the harvest as well.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to end this, just in case.
Yeah. I've
Really
done
have
that.
to watch those numbers.
Mephisto's getting a few early procs off.
I mean, in this situation, that's the last thing you want to see.
Yeah.
Mhm. But we're just about to see Hulk go a bit crazy. He's almost in his rage mode.
Does he go special 2 here? He does.
We might just try and close it out here.
Just nuke it out, yeah. Would not be surprised.
No, he's playing it calmer, playing it a bit safer.
Surprised to see him go for special 1 there.
There's a lot of aura damage at the end there.
I was going to say, I was very surprised to see special 1.
And Nar is making a good point about Masochism hurting the stun chain. I think you need to proc it with either a physical vulnerability or a parry and then go for it. And Marcel does time it around the indestructible and takes it.
And he's won it. Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Well played.
Really, really well done.
Incredibly well played.
Yeah.
Also, I'm seeing a couple of times in the chat already. My match with Andy's tomorrow. But yeah, that was incredible. Like, there's absolutely no beating Marcelo when he's playing like that.
I told you, Marcel puts on a good show.
Oh God, yeah.
Is he doing the dance from the Wednesday show? Is that what that is?
Yeah. Brilliant.
What a guy.
To be fair, if I'd have just put on a performance like that, that's exactly how I'd be feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Just to set the table based on what we've seen today, it was a doubleheader. Bittersteel did advance and will be taking on what we see there as the defeated of 2. The defeated of 2 in this case will now be Happy and McMuffins. But Happy is not out. This is a double elimination tournament. This is the Deadlands bracket. So Bittersteel and Happy will be facing. We probably will not see that till next week if we see that before this season is over. I know they probably both want to get in and play, the competitors that they are, but we'll have to take a look at that and see how the schedule is developing. Now, on the other side of the bracket, being the championship bracket, these are the folks who have not had any losses yet. We'll finally get to see Legacy and FinTech get in some games, or at least know who they're going to finally play. They both secured advancement into the stage by being the number 1 and number 2 ranked players in the whole VBC, each winning a tournament, FinTech having won 2. Marcel is advanced and will now go on to face Legacy. I have to say, Marcel has had 3 matches in this one, and I would not want to face Marcel right now.
Oh, no chance. I really wouldn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, someone's going to have to do it eventually. But wow. I mean, these performances have just been incredible. He's 3 for 3 like that. I think surprising no one. Bitter, I don't know why this always happens, man. It's just happenstance. Do you have any thoughts, anything about your matchup that will be coming up versus Happy?
So I should have been paying a bit more attention because I thought I was going to be facing the winner of Mike and B. So I'm about to go and play a week straight of Battlegrounds to try and get good enough to give Happy a rematch and try and win this time.
Yeah. All right. I like it.
Hang on. Wait. Finn, you've not won yet.
All right. Well, you know what, folks, I do have to go. I took a pretty extended lunch break here, so I got to get back to work. I really appreciate this, though. Tomorrow, actually tonight, we may have BMcG versus Karate Mike. I'm still waiting on official word on that, but pay attention to my channel and, of course, theirs. I'm sure you're subscribed to both of them. But they will be going live, I believe, tonight. We'll see. And then tomorrow for sure at noon. I believe it's noon, right? Andy was in the chat a few minutes ago. But I believe it is noon Pacific Standard Time. It's a time zone that Kabam is in and I am as well. We'll have Andrew the Rough versus none other than TJ. Any message you want to deliver to Andrew or the chat, the viewers, setting up your match tomorrow?
Not really, no. I mean, just good luck, Andy.
right.
All the best.
There it is. All right. Phenomenal showing, Mclz1nkz. As you know, you are a beast. I have to go, so unfortunately no post-match interview today, but you are a beast, and these are phenomenal performances. Happy is not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. I can't wait to see that matchup of Happy versus Bittersteel. We'll see that very, very soon. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for being here. Thank you, all of the co-hosts, DLL, MU8S, Bittersteel, and TJ. If you guys don't mind, all three of you, if you could take us out.
I'll jump in. Well, congrats to Marcel again. Thanks to Bryce earlier for our match, and thanks Vega for putting it all together. This is the best thing about the community right now. I love it.
Yeah, I'll hop in next. Marcel, huge congrats to you, buddy. And then Happy, you also played very well, and looking forward to seeing you in this next one. Bitter, thank you for the match earlier, and again to Vega. This tournament has been amazing, and I may be out now for this one, but it's been an amazing ride from here.
So yeah, if you want an evening of entertainment, it doesn't get much better than that. That was both matches. All 4 players put on an absolute incredible performance. So yeah, GG's to both of you guys on call for your match, and then very well played to Marcel. I'm happy.
All right, everybody, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. We will catch you hopefully tonight, and if not, tomorrow for Andrew the Rough versus TJ, the winner getting to face FinTech. Take care, everybody.